Coach Leach has done such a great job with every spectrum of quarterback, whether it's young, old, short, tall, experienced, inexperienced, whatever it may be. He's done it with some guys with stronger arms, more kind of accurate field general type guys. So he can put up yards and points with, it's a system that is very sound. It's got great adjustments, and he definitely knows what he's doing. So he can do it with kind of, I don't say anybody at this point, and to not take anything away from Connor at all, because he's a fabulous player, tremendous deep ball thrower. But they can do it with a lot of people.
Go ahead, Aaron.
There's an offense that throws around that much. I think they had 40-something incomplete passes last year against you guys. Does that play right into your offense's hands? Because you know that if they have the ball, they're not going to eat up a ton of clock.
We sure approach it that way. I mean, obviously, we're trying to get off the field as quickly as possible on defense, and you have a decent idea that you're going to have a fair amount of possessions, and so that that can certainly be one viewpoint.
You mentioned a couple weeks ago that you guys have had to change your signals up a little bit because the word sort of gets out without giving away enough that you'd have to change them again. How do you sort of do that now?
It's pretty easy in terms of you just change categories, and I know that sounds weird, but just numbers mean different things. Words mean different in terms of how you group things, and we just change up those groups, and then physically how we're sending the signaling now is different as well.
So do you still use the picture cards?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Is that one of several ways, or?
Now you're getting awfully dangerous. You're getting in the CIA territory. There are multiple ways. Let's just put it that way out.
They've hung with you in the first half the last couple of years, whether it be in Seattle or here last year. Is it something they've been doing that keeps them close, or is it something you guys have been doing, or what exactly has that been attributed to in your mind?
I thought the game, what was that, 2 years ago, the game in Seattle, I thought that was one of the best games I've ever seen them play, particularly in the first half, particularly on defense. They changed up some pressures and did a nice job, and we've kind of prepared ourselves for that look, as well as the looks that they've grown a little bit away from what they did that season. And then last year, you could say it's a combination of factors. We drop a wide open touchdown pass when it was, I can't remember exactly the scores, but either something to 7 or something to 0. And the next play we fumble we fumble, then we have 2 fumbles and put our defense in a bad situation on a short field one time, and they score on the other one. So there was a quick 14-point swing that we literally drop a touchdown pass and then fumble the next play. That's a 14-point swing, but yeah, they're everybody's tough. Everybody's tough. It is hard to win.
Mark, when you guys the game gets out of hand in your favor, Marcus is always on the bench. Did you have a problem at all with Halliday last year playing all the way to the end?
No.
Jake, go back. Mark, you.
As an offensive guy, I imagine you look at other offenses and maybe get ideas from them. Is there anything you've taken from Mike Leach's system over the years that you've used in creating your offense?
Sure. I think there's aspects, their system melded with kind of the BYU system and almost kind of a run and shoot. I don't want to say run and shoot, but kind of many options off of one look type of deal. Those kind of families of offense have all kind of meshed into what he's doing now and what a lot of people are doing now. And so there's aspects of that show up kind of in everybody's playbook, and they've obviously taken it to another level.
Mark, kind of along the same line to your left, in front. There you go.
That was
kind of along that same line. Coach Leach said yesterday he was asked about his system, and he said his system is actually pretty simple. Mm-hmm. It's just really basically matchups. Is that really the case? Is his system that simple?
Yes and no. I think that's the beauty of simplicity. Whether you look at a pick and roll in basketball, that's simple, but it's really hard to defend if those guys can, have the nuances and the change ups off of it. And it's kind of the same thing maybe with our offense and with their offense. People say it's simple. And again, I think that's a compliment. I said Michigan State's defense it's simple, but they got really good dudes doing it, and you sort of know where they're going to be most of the time. With their offense, it's similar but different. The space that they try to attack, whether it's option routes or filling up space, clearing space, and filling it up with crossers. That's again something that's kind of in every system. But they have a great, if they see this, then do that type of chain reaction that they go through. You can see it happen just based on how people play them.
Here in the back.
Mark in the back to your right.
You guys haven't had any players play in Pullman yet. Is there anything you're doing specifically to prep them for that environment, or is it an environment that you have to prep for? Or what about it maybe is something you have to worry about?
They have great fans. They do a great job of being loud. They have a great student section that is always out there in pregame that is lively, and they do a great job. So we've incorporated a ton of crowd noise this week, and the new stadium I'm sure it'll look great, and they'll be excited. But as far as the action, preparing specifically other than any other kind of crowd noise situation, no.
Mark, right here. Is there an emphasis this week just to get out to a fast start because you had a slow first quarter and because it's your first road game, first conference game?
We try to start fast every week, and so does the opponent. That's the kicker, and last week was a combination of factors, and this week is different. Would we love to get out to a fast start and win going away? Sure, we would, but so would they, and so they'll do their deal in terms of offense, defense, and special teams, and we will as well. And it's a 4-quarter, 60-minute game that we keep score at the end, and that sounds weird, but we know we're going to get everybody's best shot at the beginning, and there'll be no exception. That they hit some bumps in each phase in their first couple games, and they righted the ship last week, and they got off to an outstanding start as far as the first half is concerned, from a score wise, and then kind of let them back in it for a second, and then just put their foot on the gas.
Jake, the back on the right.
Mark, you've answered this, but Marcus obviously on the cover of Sports Illustrated. How do you kind of face that, and what does that mean to the program?
It's great. It's great. I'm just smiling because how do we handle that? We make fun of Marcus. That's what you do. Any chance you can to poke fun at the perfect person, you have to take your shots. But no, it's great. Again, it's great for our fans. It's great for our program. It's an honor. Guy growing up in the Sports Illustrated era where that was kind of it. That's a huge deal for him and a neat thing for our program. Absolutely.
Jake,
How specifically do you make fun of Marcus when he's on the cover of Sports
Illustrated? You can't go specifically. It's very easy to make Marcus blush, and there will be a few other things this week that will be incorporated into our team message. Let's just put it that way.
A more serious question about the game. If you do have to play some young, inexperienced offensive linemen making the first start on the road, how do you talk about the crowd noise? Mm-hmm. Do you have to focus on preparing those guys specifically who haven't been in that environment on the offensive line for the crowd noise? Do you have to spend a little more time helping get them ready for that? Not really any differently than we would, Charles Nelson or Darren Carrington or Royce Freeman or all these other guys that haven't played a ton of football, and we do that kind of all the time. With our there's music and noise at our practice, and that's something that we want the distraction to be the norm. We want that that chaos to be that just goes on, and we go about our business, and that holds true with that position as well.
Molly, left.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go back to the Sports Illustrated thing. How do you tease a guy like Marcus, and also how does he take it? You've had other players on the Sports Illustrated cover, and is there does Marcus take it differently, or how does that work?
He just lowers his head and chuckles and, oh gosh, gee, Willikers, kind of Richie Cunningham type of
Marcus
moment.
Mariota says Willikers?
Yes. But he, no, we had some good fun with it. I didn't even know about it until we were in the middle of practice, and so somebody had told me, so I can't remember exactly what I said. You guys are very concerned about Marcus's feelings today, but no, he's awesome, and he'll handle it great.
Colin.
Mark, sorry to stick with the SI stuff, but there's a belief that there's a cover jinx. Is that something that You guys.
We've got some incense and a live chicken, or maybe that's probably not an appropriate joke in the day and age, but some sort of Ouija board to fight all spells.
Dead chicken.
A dead chicken. Organic chicken. Free range.
Mark, with this wide open offense of Washington State, how much more important is the linebacker play for Oregon in space, I guess?
That's the name of the game. Yeah, you have to tackle in space, and everybody has to run to the ball. I mean, you look at even the Portland State situation. It was about 2nd and 8 in the third quarter. They had cut it to 14, and they had the back 5 yards deep in the backfield. Makes it 3rd and extra long, kind of momentum swing deal, and they whiff, and he gets a first down. And so just those kind of plays are killers. That screen game, just enough of a run threat, and then the screen game combination of the wideouts and the tailback. That's their run game. That's their deal. And so it's run game in space, and it's similar to our deal in trying to get tailbacks in space, handing them the ball. They get the ball to somebody else in space, throwing them the ball. And you have to rally and you have to get them down.
How has Joe and Tyson been in those situations? I'm trying to do a piece on Tyson. How has he done in space? And Joe as well.
Mm-hmm. Tyson's been solid. He's done some really good things in special teams. Coulda, woulda, shoulda had a couple others. In as far as tackling in space, he's been okay. Tackling in space is a huge deal. I mean, there's fundamentals of an open field tackle, but the biggest deal is squaring up, gaining ground, and then everybody else get to the party. I mean, that's as big a part of it as anything. Joe has been, since we've been here, a little bit more of a downhill guy. Played great against Michigan State in that kind of a style of a fit, of a downhill fit. But if we're all playing defense and we're all running in our leverage lane or in our gap, how the field distributes, he can fit that really well as well.
Jake, right?
Coach, last year, Coach Aliotti had some choice words about Mike Leach's offense. Any thought that they might be using that as bulletin board material this week?
No, Mike Leach doesn't need bulletin board material. He had a good laugh about that, and he's, as he said, I think at the time he's heard much worse.
Anything else? I take that to be a no.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.